back, bitches.
Laura,
back to Norman.
Change your name.
Laura, change your name.
No.
Okay. Do what you want. Right. I'm not your boss.
Oh my god. You have a podcast?
So you gotta compose yourself. Everybody stay calm!
I had a mental breakdown.
Little cheeky fuckers.
Am I dreaming? Because I can't see, I can't read.
Are the road Coral days behind us?
We're going to talk about Jose Antonio Francisco.
You are listening to the Quinn-tessentials podcast.
I actually talked about you in my Get Ready With Me video. I talked about blush and how I said my friend Laura, my best friend Laura, you know, Laura with an H at the end, Vanessa with an H at the end.
Hey, that's like unsponsored like promotion, Laura.
Yeah,
truly.
So you're welcome.
I think I gained like a follower off of that.
Oh my god, You're welcome. When do I get my royalties, bitch?
I'll be sure to mail you a penny. That's all apparently TikTok ads are good for nowadays. Hey.
Hey.
I'm so glad we're here.
Samesies.
Again.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I love talking about Joe last week, but I'm very excited about this episode.
Samesies.
Yes.
Hey, welcome. This is the Quinn-tessentials podcast. And yeah.
And done. Just kidding.
And done. That's it. Thanks for
See you
coming.
later.
See you next week. I want to do a brief trigger warning for this episode. We are going to be going through, not too into detail, but we are going to go into some history as to what happened to one of the subjects in our episode today. So consider yourself warned. This is a trigger warning for sexual assault.
Yes.
But before we get into all of that, okay, I need to say something.
Okay.
Oh my god, spill the tea, girl.
There do be willies.
There do be willies.
Each Willie named Willie. Willie the Willie.
There's Will, there's William, there's Willie, there's Bill.
When there's a Willie, there's a Whaley.
So,
Free Willie.
they're all the free willies.
So in case you're wondering what we're referring to,
Free the Willies.
Thank you, Danielle.
let's rein it back in, ladies. You bring up willies and we're like, where? What? Where? Who?
Willie!
So we didn't have much to go on this week for our boy Joe. He's laying low,
Kept it low key, yeah.
finishing up his stint on The Quiet Place day one. He's only got probably, a week left of filming. But he did post a little link on his Instagram promoting a play called You Are Going to Die. And he made sure to say, go and see this show if you know what's good for you. It's intense. It's not for the faint-hearted. There do be willies. You've been warned. But it is a play by Adam Scott Rowley. And we know how supportive Joe is of the theater and especially plays within and around the London area. So if you're in the London area and you're listening to our podcast, first off, hi, hello.
Hey.
It's the Quinn-tessentials. Nice to see ya. Secondly, Joe said to go see it, so he never says a lie. Let's trust the man and go see some willies.
Also, if you've seen it, let us know. Mm-hmm. And maybe we can have you on.
Ooh,
maybe we can have you
okay.
talk about it a little bit.
I would love that.
Because if they make it available, you're gonna have to pay way more than a regular like theater price because there do be willies. Is it all willies? Are there women naked in it?
No, sure. I don't think he would refer to women's genitals as willies.
No, I know. I'm just curious because I don't know if
Willas.
he's funny.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I wasn't sure. Does he just means they're all naked? Is it just men, you know? I didn't know if it was just men.
I don't know. Somebody go watch it and let us know what you think. But he went with Lupita.
He did.
With his bestie, Lupita.
Bestie Lupita.
So I wonder if he went and then went with Lupita. I wonder if he was like, it's so good I have to go see these willies again. And then he took Lupita.
I just don't think that's the conversation that happened. Hey, yo, Lupita, there's some willies down the street. You want to go see them? It could be amazing, though. From I have heard great things about the last play that he promoted on his Instagram. So, like, this one is probably just as good or better. Laura, rein it in, girl. Gather yourself.
Wait, you guys heard about Daniel Radcliffe being on that stage production?
did.
He was naked with a donkey on
did.
stage.
Equus. It was a horse.
Oh, a horse, whatever.
My little teenage heart was like, I can't handle this.
The only ass on that stage was his. I'm done. Goodbye. I'll be here all week.
Well, Daniel's got a nice booty, if I do say so myself.
I thought you said Danielle's got a nice booty, and I was about to say, thanks, girl.
Daniel and Danielle have nice booties.
I also thought you were talking about Danielle.
She was.
No, that was like really, really great to see. If you've seen it, let us know. We'll have you on, and we would love to hear all about it. Spoilers and everything. Today we're talking about two really, really, really exciting people, in my opinion. Who doesn't love a comeback kid?
Yes.
And so we could not go on. The only reason we didn't do this episode last week, it was because we really wanted to talk about Joe. But this episode is dedicated to Mr. Brendan Fraser.
Yay!
Not Fraser.
Exactly.
I learned that last week. Mr. Brendan Fraser and Ke Huy Quan, both who are now officially Oscar-winning actors.
Wow, look at them.
I don't even know what to say. I mean, these guys, first of all, Brendan Fraser, I just associate him with my childhood, you know?
Yep.
George of the Jungle, The Mummy, Bejeweled. That was so good.
I forgot about that movie. Until this very moment, it just went ding.
I saw Airheads when I was really young.
That's a good one, too.
Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler in there and a few other people. Like, that was so good.
The sad thing about Hollywood, truly, is that sometimes you don't notice when somebody has kind of faded to the background to where you don't really see them anymore. Hollywood is such a fast pace type of place. And before I knew it, I was reading an article in 2016 or 17 that said, what happened to Brendan Fraser? And I was like, oh my God, yeah, where has he been? The same could be said about Ke Huy Quan, right? He was in Indiana Jones.
The Goonies.
The Goonies. He was also with Brendan Fraser in Encino Man.
Right.
A few of those movies were before my time on this earth.
Yeah.
When I got to see him and I got to see that story, it was incredible. So I want to know about your guys' experience with these two guys.
I'm more familiar with Brennan from my childhood. I do remember Key from Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Indiana Jones movies and the Goonies. However, I have fond memories of George of the Jungle and the Mummy. There is one scene in particular that to this day is the epitome of female gaze.
Tell me.
From George of the Jungle.
Oh, I know exactly which one you're going to point out.
It's the scene where he's in the corral with the horse and he's in that flowy white shirt and he's like corralling the horse and the wind is blowing. I can't even put into words the way that scene makes me feel, like both on an emotional and a spiritual level.
Yes.
I was like, okay, that in any way, shape, or form, that movie is great regardless. It's funny, it's meaningful, there's a good plot to it, but like that scene in particular, I was like...
There's a slightly spicier one where he gets out of the shower.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Yeah. Where
and
he's got like, he's like, he like hit his head on something and it's just like doused in like baby oil.
Shannon, thank you so much for reminding me about that. Let's just let that resonate for a second.
Okay.
That was nice. But Key in Indiana Jones, he was just so fun and carefree and happy in all of the roles that I saw him growing up with. And I loved him. But he was another one that like he kind of faded out and you didn't really realize that had happened.
So I actually have the story of what happened to Kay because it was interesting. when I did a little bit of digging as to what happened to these two men when they faded out of Hollywood, I'm going to read what happened to Kay, and then I'll talk a little bit about what happened to Brendan. This comes from NikkiSwift.com, 13 fascinating facts about everything everywhere all star Kei Hui Kwan. It says, after starring in 2 major pictures, young Kei Hui Kwan decided to pursue a career in acting. I thought that the road would be easy, he told Vanity Fair, but boy was I wrong. He did a stint on the CBS sitcom Nothing is Easy, followed by 2 seasons on ABC Head of the Class. Kwan appeared in a string of unforgettable movies such as Encino Man with Brendan Fraser and Sean Astin. And then in 1993, he quit acting and decided to continue his education at USC in film school because one day he found himself at an audition for a no-name role that had 2 lines. And he says, I walk into a room and there were 30 other Asian actors fighting for this tiny breadcrumb.
Oh my gosh.
For an uncredited role with 2 lines.
Wow.
And it says when he didn't even get that, he didn't see a future for himself as an actor. Mind you, he had been in these incredible movies, right? He had been in Encino Man and Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Goonies, which is like a staple of a movie. So yeah, I mean, that's incredibly disheartening, right? But then he did a lot of work behind the scenes. With Brendan's situation, it was a lot more traumatic than that. Brendan did his own stunts for The Mummy.
He did them for George of the Jungle as well, yeah.
Yeah. And they were, I mean, they were basically throwing this man around like he was his own stunt coordinator. Which, by the way, as I say stunt coordinator, Kei Hui Kwan also has experience as a stunt coordinator.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, so Brendan, he had to have a lot of surgeries after a few of his movies. And then, most unfortunately, in 2018, he opened up about the fact that he was sexually assaulted in 2003.
Wow.
By somebody named Philip Burke, who was the then president of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. Burke denied his accusations, and I think up to this point, Brendan has no association with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. He didn't even go to the Golden Globes this year.
Yeah, he vowed he would never go, even if he was invited, because of that.
Mm-hmm. That's very valid, yeah.
Of the incident, Fraser said, and I had played by the rules up until that point. I felt like, okay, now suddenly I've been violated and it has gone too far. I will no longer abide by this. He added that the assault was causing me emotional distress. It was causing me personal distress, which... Absolutely. Yeah. You know, there were other things that were happening, right? Like he had these physical illnesses that he had to go through and all these surgeries after The Mummy. And then he just kind of faded to the back, you know? Mm-hmm. When that story came out, it was 2 years after the Me Too movement, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Me Too started like late
in 2016.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, 2016, and then he came out with that. But for a man to come forward and open up about that,
yes,
you know, there was a lot of strength behind the Me Too movement, and there were a lot of women that came forward. And at that point, there was, and I don't want to put it this way, but it's also the truth, right? There was strength in numbers because you realized that you were not alone. That was the whole point of the Me Too movement. There were so many women that came forth, and it was women that you would have never thought, strong women that you would have never thought, you know, would have gone through that.
Also, I'm wondering if Brendan Fraser started that because Terry Crews came out saying that he was sexually assaulted.
Wow.
Which, I mean, Terry Crews, a gigantic person, you know, like.
But yeah, I feel like I wonder if him coming out about that may have helped other men, because I understand that a lot of women with Weinstein, they literally probably would have been blacklisted also if they came forward. And then with the Me Too movement, it kind of gave them strength, like you said, in numbers to all come out about it. So I wonder if how many other men have struggled with that.
And actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I actually think that this also resulted him in also kind of getting blacklisted.
Yeah.
Before he came out and said, and that's why he faded to the back of you know, the spotlight.
Yeah.
Well, because then he was kind of shunned, if you will. Like, how dare you say this? You're not telling the truth. And he's like, if no one's going to believe me, why should I continue to stand up for myself? And he kind of just, that breaks my heart.
Or the director guy was pulling strings and saying like, oh, don't hire him.
Yeah.
Don't do this. You know what I mean? So.
Right. It's someone in power. That's what happens, right? Somebody inevitably will always abuse their power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, what a gorgeous person inside and out, right? Like, I think my favorite thing, though, was watching that man regain his confidence.
It's literally happened right in front of our eyes.
From when he got that 6-minute standing ovation. Oh my God.
Yeah.
From when he got the 6-minute standing ovation at the premiere of The Whale, all the way through awards season at the Oscars, you see standing a little bit taller, you know, kind of leaning in, making more jokes, holding his head a little higher. And I just think it's incredible. You know, it's such an inspirational story. And he has said it himself.
Yeah.
He said, if I'm here, if I can do this, you can too.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you guys remember that really fast cam that does like the slow down and he took his glasses off and he just smized right into the camera? I was like,
Okay.
I was like, all right.
I want to kind of split this. I'm going to do the quick 10 fun facts about Brendan, and then we can go back to Key, and then we can talk about filmography for each one. Okay?
Cool.
Let's see. Well, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, he is a Sagittarius.
Okay.
He was born on December 3rd. And that is exactly 1 month after my birthday. I am November 3rd.
Oh my gosh. I love how you always make a connection between everybody that we talk to. That's like, that's 3 days before my birthday. Oh, we're separated by birth by a month.
That's 54 days.
Penn Badgley and Brendan Fraser both have birthdays near you.
Look at you. They're just truly circling you, girl.
I don't know what else to tell you. I am 54 days before Joe. I'm kidding. I don't know the number between me and Joe's birthday. Brendan Fraser made 2 films, Bedazzled and 2001's Monkey Bone. Do you guys remember Monkey's Bone? Monkey Bone. You never watched that?
I always wanted to watch that movie with Brendan Fraser and Elizabeth Hurley where she plays like the devil.
Bedazzled.
That's Bedazzled. It's so
is
good,
it?
girl.
It's so
Watch it.
good. Blast from the Past, too. Have you seen Blast from the Past?
I remember that one.
That was so good. They go into a bunker. I mean, I guess we just went straight into filmography.
And you guys, literally, I had never seen The Mummy until I saw it with Adam.
And they're so
last
good,
year.
right? They stand the test of time.
I saw the first one. Yeah.
They're so
that was
good.
really good.
You gotta watch the second one.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part of doing this podcast is going through the filmography because I'm reminded of all the movies that I've watched in my lifetime and I get really excited about it. Like, I want to go watch Blast from the Past and Bedazzled tonight.
Okay, let's figure
we can
out
go
where
back
you
to
can
facts.
stream it.
It's fine. I can always move it around.
He is a big photography buff. He loves photography.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He picked up a Polaroid camera and decided to start taking photos of the exotic locations he has been visiting while shooting films like North America, Vietnam, London. And then he exhibited his work in Los Angeles with proceeds going to the 24th Street Theater Troupe.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
I saw that he had a photography credit for Scrubs because he played the guy's brother on IMDb.
Oh.
I was just kind of looking around and
Yeah.
I ended up seeing that.
Yeah. He is an avid archer.
Okay, Legolas 2.0.
I know.
Sign him up.
Hunger Games Part 5. I don't know. Whatever.
I think he picked up the sport from a role that he was practicing for. He speaks fluent French.
Ooh, oui, oui.
Oui, oui. He's died before.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
He has died before.
Like in real life?
He legally died on the set of The Mummy.
How? What happened? Excuse me, you can't just breeze past this. I need details.
Oh, he died anyways.
Out of all the This is on the website 80skids.com. Out of all the action movies that called Fraser physical damage, the 1999's The Mummy was definitely the worst. One of the actor's early scenes as adventurer Rick O'Connell sees him saved from the hangman's noose at the last second by Evelyn. However, when the scene was shot, the stunt went very badly and Fraser was hanged for real.
Oh my god!
The actor legally died for 18 seconds when the prop rope around his neck was tightened too much by mistake. Fraser woke up on the grounds shortly after action was shouted and didn't actually know what happened. Thankfully, the rest of the production went relatively smoothly.
I hope they got...
I did not know that. That was brand new to me after today.
That is insane.
I hope they called quits that day. So, all right, Brendan, get back up. I know you died, but...
They're like, well, I guess this shot's gonna have to work because I'm not putting you through that again.
He almost played Superman.
Ooh.
Oh, I think I remember hearing about that. It was between him and who?
Who was before Henry Cavill?
It was after Christopher Reeve then, because Christopher Reeve got paralyzed in the 80s. So it was whoever after that.
There was an early 2000s Superman. But this is super interesting to me because I would have thought he would have played Superman from like 2006, which I forget his name, but I was obsessed with the guy that played Superman back then.
Are you talking about the Smallville one? Because he's coming to Philly.
No, I'm talking about Brandon Routh. I know the Smallville Superman is coming to Philly. Tom Welling.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
I remember him.
Brandon Routh. I thought it was maybe between him and Brandon Routh, but I guess... All right, let me read this to you. Thanks to TV's Doom Patrol, Fraser has finally been given a superhero role to sink his teeth into. However, this was by no means the first time Fraser had the chance to portray such a character. In fact, he was at one point under consideration to play arguably the most iconic superhero of them all, Superman. Fraser auditioned for the title role Superman Flyby, an ambitious reboot that was in development from writer J.J. Abrams. Oh, okay, so I guess it would have been something different. Anyways,
Yeah,
it never picked up. It never happened.
Oh, wah wah.
Wah, wah.
There's photoshopped photos of him in the uniform, though.
I love it. I love that.
That's a good video idea, Shannon.
Aye, Captain.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, he's a singer. He performed his own vocals in Airheads.
That's right.
Wow.
OMG.
He was up for the role of Inspector Gadget, which...
He would have been perfect. His comedic timing would have been...
Inspector Gadget.
Also, he was born in America to two Canadian parents, so he has dual citizenship. That might be why he speaks French, maybe, right? Maybe his parents are...
Maybe, yeah. He spent a stint of time in Canada.
He is the first American-born actor to have a star on the Canada Walk of Fame.
Look at that. Look at our boy.
Anyways, these are all very random facts about Brendan Fraser. Let's talk about Ke Huy Quan's fun facts.
Yes.
All right. Which, by the way, I think anybody could agree this was like the year of the comeback story for the Oscars. You had Jamie Lee Curtis win Best Supporting Actress, which Jamie Lee Curtis never really went anywhere, but she's been around for a long fucking time, okay? A long time. This was so overdue.
I heard that this year was the first first time winners, everybody.
Oh!
Everybody was the first time winner this year. Everybody.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I wonder if they got rid of the old, get out of here, you're too old. And then the new people came in and they're like, we're going to give everyone first time. You get one, you get one, you get one.
You get an Oscar and you get an Oscar.
I know. You know who I didn't see at the Oscars this year was
Joe Quinn.
Meryl Streep. Oh. Can I tell you how...
We got Poppy Pascal, though.
Oh, Poppy Pascal. Oh, he looks so good. By the way, this is such an unhinged episode, but can we talk about how confident we were that Joe was gonna make an appearance all through fucking award season?
The whole season.
He needs to. Man Dress is so good. He looks so good. Maybe after Quiet Place, maybe I'll be like, oh wow, now you can go.
I was like, surely he'll make an appearance in a green suit somewhere.
please.
Do you want to know what's really, really cool, though, is we have a lifetime with Joe now. He's not going anywhere, so we will see that emerald green suit eventually. That man's going to win an Oscar. He's going to win an Academy Award. He's going to win a BAFTA. He's going to win them all, okay?
If Pedro Pascal can wear that green suit,
yeah,
so can Joseph.
Danielle, I love the way you put that. We have a lifetime with Joe. And I can't wait to see what else happens. We were talking about the people who won. Jamie Lee Curtis, Jamie Lee Curtis absolutely deserved it, but I also think Stephanie Hsu was to die for in Everything Everywhere All at Once. We have Michelle Yeoh, who won for lead actress.
She did so good.
She did so good. She was amazing. She won, and then obviously Brendan Fraser.
I just wanted to read a little snippet from his acceptance speech because it is amazing. From Keys.
Yeah, yes, please, yeah.
So we got announced for his award, and he came up and he was so excited, and he got to hug Harrison Ford, like reunion at its finest. He said, "My journey started on a boat. I spent a year in a refugee camp, and somehow I ended up here on Hollywood's biggest stage."
And it's so funny because then he was like, my mom is 84 years old and she's watching on TV. And then he goes, Mom, I just won an Oscar.
And then Brennan was already crying when they were announcing the names of the people up for nomination. He already had tears in his... Like, these awards couldn't have went to better people.
The vibes at this show were absolutely immaculate. There was nothing but support and joy and excitement. You could tell they were not there to talk about any drama or anything of the sort. They made light of the fact of what happened with Will Smith last year. You know, they took advantage of making jokes and stuff like that, and that, whatever. But other than that, it was nothing but excitement, support, joy. Like, it was such a good show. This was just such a really good year for the Oscars, I think.
I wonder if Will Smith was uninvited to the Oscars.
Oh, he is banned from the Oscars. Permanently.
Oh, he's banned?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, he is never going back.
Just kidding.
All right, let's go over Ke Huy Quan's facts.
You were talking about his selfies. I want to talk about his selfies.
Oh my God, he is a shameless fanboy.
Through and through.
I have been living for the fact that he just, can I take a selfie? Can I take a selfie? Let's take a selfie. He has all of these selfies with all of these amazing and famous people. And I just, oh my God. It is.
It's funny. He's probably looking at them like, I'm your biggest fan. And they're probably looking at him like, you're Ke Huy Quan in the Goonies. Of course I want a photo with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, he's so infectious.
Yes.
His personality is so, you can't not see his interviews, his speeches, the way he interacts with you, and not fucking smile.
Right.
You know? It's very easy to become jaded in any career, right? Obviously, at the point that he was at in 1993 when he didn't get that role, it was like, enough is enough. And then he went on to go to school and, you know, started doing stunt coordinating work and stuff like that.
Right.
But the movie that got him to come back and consider doing this again was Crazy Rich Asians.
Is he in that?
No.
That's
Okay.
right.
It inspired him to come back.
I get it. Oh my goodness.
So here's what it says. Again, this is from NikkiSwift.com. In 2018, the film Crazy Rich Asians inspired him to take a shot at a comeback. The actor, who was pushing 50, spent a year contemplating whether or not to return to acting. I noticed Asian actors were getting more opportunities, and I began to harbor this dream of getting back into acting. But it took a lot of courage to give a voice to that dream. And this is something that he told The Guardian. One day I decided, if I don't do this, I will regret it.
And look at him now. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, and then from that point on, his life, and he didn't even tell his parents or his family that he was getting back into acting until I think like last summer, until after the movie was out. Can you imagine? I mean, but this is the year of this man. He's up for Marvel roles right now. He has so much work coming back for him. And it is just, honestly, there's so much gratitude in this man's eyes wherever he goes. And you can see it in in his performance. There's so much passion and gratitude. It's just amazing to see. Him and Michelle Yeoh are real friends, have been friends for life. He is a firm believer that Waymond Wang, which is the name of his character, was written for him. Which, like, think about it. I don't know who could have ever played that character. That wasn't him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say on that fact sheet about him, because I was kind of skimming at that earlier too, Laura.
Yeah.
That bit about him and Yao, there's a quote where she said, he is too humble.
He's the most wonderful on and off camera husband. He is loving, charming, and funny. And his wife is now my good sister friend. We are very blessed that he is back on the silver screen.
Oh.
And then she said, Kay is too humble. He forget that he was one of the iconic Asian faces in an era where so few Asian faces had broken through to Hollywood. She wrote in an email to Vanity Fair, his work paved the way.
Wow.
I thought that was important to mention.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. It's just that you think about it full circle, where he decided that this wasn't for me because Asians weren't seen the way that they should be seen in that era. And then looking back, he was one of the few faces during that generation that really broke through. Just what that article said. That's amazing.
Exactly.
Since it wasn't long before that where they had white people playing Asian characters with like their eyes taped back. You know, you look at Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's. They were, you know, God, I don't even want to bring up that character. It was so offensive and disrespectful. I mean, it was born.
They thought it'd be a funny comedy relief, and it's, but looking back, it's like you're literally just making fun of these poor people.
Yeah.
Right.
But let's talk movies. We got so excited. We kind of jumped the gun all around about Brendan Fraser's movies. But I want to talk, I cannot believe, is Monkey Bone really not that popular? Because I remember watching it so many times.
Get up really quick.
What is the synopsis of that?
It
sounds very interesting.
Here's what it says about Monkey Bone. In a comma, a cartoonist, Brendan Fraser, finds himself trapped within his own underground creation and must find his way to get back while racing against his popular but treacherous character, Monkey Bone.
Huh.
Oh.
It's like a kid's movie.
Yeah, those are sometimes the best ones, though.
I think it, more than anything, really tapped into nostalgia. Like, that was one of those movies when we were living in Puerto Rico that we would go to the video store. You would go rent a VHS. And that movie and Josie and the Pussycats were always movies we wanted our mom to like rent. So I saw that movie many, many, many times.
I just saw that he was on King of the Hill and did a couple voices, and that just made me really happy because I did not know that.
That's amazing.
I've never seen King of the Hill.
Get out of here.
I know. I was like,
you never cease to amaze me, Laura.
I'm okay, Dad.
What can I say? He was in a live-action Looney Tunes movie.
oh, I remember reading that.
I vaguely remember
He was
that.
so hot in that movie.
Really? Was he?
I mean,
what year did? Oh, I see. Back in action.
God, yeah.
I remember that one vaguely.
He was back in action, all right. Oh, that's with Steve Martin, right?
Yep. Let's see.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Fun fact: have any of you guys seen Encino Man? No. Okay, Encino Man is a movie about, he plays a caveman, and it's with Sean Astin, actually, who was also in The Goonies.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and with Kay Hui Kwan, who was also in The Goonies, and with Pauly fucking Shore, which like he's so creepy now.
A little obnoxious, yeah.
But I loved his character. I feel like Pauly Shore is the 90s for me, right?
He is kind of cute, though. If he didn't talk that much, he would actually be like, okay.
Yeah, like in the 90s, like his hair and stuff like that. He'd be like...
Yeah.
A lot of people say the same thing about me. She's pretty funny if she just didn't talk as much.
Danielle.
Weird. We share that in common. That's great.
So Brendan's character, he went by Link because he was a caveman who was frozen over in the Ice Age and miraculously ended up under a hole that Sean Astin's character was digging for a pool in California, in Encino, California.
What the
He was the missing link.
He was the missing link. Yeah, that's where they got his name from.
I
Yeah.
love that.
But he actually made a little cameo in the movie called In the Army Now. He made a cameo as Link, but he was uncredited in that movie. Can you imagine?
Oh, that's funny. I love that.
Yeah.
That's great.
He was also in a movie called Airheads that I've never seen.
It's so good.
Shannon, tell her about it.
Okay. So, Brendan and Steve Buscemi and Adam Sandler are in a metal band together, and they're trying to get their single played on the radio. So what do? They hold it hostage.
Oh, the radio station?
Yeah.
But in that time, they're trying to kill, like, metal and, like, try to make it a soft rock station. So more of the reason why they were trying to... And actually, Lemmy makes an appearance, and there's actually a lot of funny jokes about it. Like Steve Buscemi's character goes, like... Who would win in a fight, Lemmy or God? And then the cop said, Lemmy. And he said, trick question, Lemmy is God.
It's a very, very good movie, Laura. Take our advice. Find some time and watch it.
Let's
I think I can stream it on
He's got,
Stars.
like, long hair. And...
Oh my God, Adam Sandler is really hot in
I was
this.
going to say, he looked really good in the few pictures
Really
I've seen.
hot. Oh, yeah.
I think I can stream it on Stars, or you can rent it on... Wait, you can watch Airheads on HBO Max.
There you go.
Boom.
There you go.
I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yeah, it's very good.
How about... I mean, we've talked about Bedazzled. Have we talked about Bedazzled?
It's been a long time, so you'll have to give her a good rundown. It's been a while, but there's parts of that movie that are just engraved into this little noggin.
Hold, please. Let's pull it up. He plays Elliot in Bedazzled.
First off, love the name.
He looks like an Elliot, to be honest.
He's so fine. Oh my God, I can't. He's so hot. Hopeless dweeb Elliot Richards is granted 7 wishes by the devil to snare Allison, the girl of his dreams, in exchange for his soul. Now, if you have seen this movie, first of all, the devil is played by the incomparable, most beautiful Elizabeth Hurley. I mean, gorgeous.
If you guys seen her now, she looks exactly the same.
She does.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's doing, what's in her water that she's drinking.
She also sold her soul to the devil.
I was just about to say that, girl. You stole it right out of my mouth.
Apparently, Brendan was being interviewed about it, and he was saying, like, yeah, Liz just turns on this button, and she becomes this person that everyone knows her to be, but I guess he sees this quirky, funny, who she is,
Yeah.
but then in a movie, she goes, she just turns it on.
I see it. It's great. It is great. And then, obviously, who could ever forget George? I mean, we've talked about that scene in George, but have we talked about George?
Oh, no, we haven't.
Because, oh my God.
I remember the first time I laid eyes on him in that movie. It's whenever the lion is trying to attack the main character, and her name is escaping my brain right now.
Oh, please. Her name is Ursula in the movie.
Yes.
Oh.
And he, like, hops up on that tree in his little loincloth, and I'm like, Lord have mercy.
Also, can I just talk about something? I need...
That's what we're here for.
I
Talk
need
about stuff.
the man that I marry. If I marry anybody to get his fucking haircut in George of the Jungle, I would like to take my man, whomever he is, wherever he is in the world right now, I would like to take a reference photo of Brendan Fraser in George of the Jungle and be like, do this. This is what I want for my man. Because, oh my God.
There's this quote, Ursula says, did you fight a crocodile for this? I guess he gives her a crocodile tooth. And he's like, oh no, George did not fight. Crocodile have toothache. George pull tooth. Crocodile give to George after. Gift.
It's such a cute little heartwarming, funny, make you feel good kind of movie.
So sweet. Doesn't he say something like, something Always go for clothesline. I don't know whatever, but that one always stays in my mind, and I don't know why. But I don't know what's good for clothesline. I don't remember that part.
I think it's...
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, it's like when he's swinging from the bridge, I think, right?
I was trying to look up quotes to see if it would come up, but...
Yeah, I mean, what a movie. And if you haven't never seen George of the Jungle, fucking stop listening to this podcast right now.
Yeah.
And fucking go watch it.
Yeah, you can pause us.
Shut it off and get your life together.
And I know Brendan felt so weird probably being...
A sex symbol?
I don't want to say objectifying.
A sex symbol.
But yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I know, I think he had mentioned it made him uncomfortable, which made me feel bad about being like, but look, he's so cute.
Look at this little smile.
It's goofy. You know what the thing about it is? It is a sexy photo. He is a sexy man in that photo and has the goofiest fucking smile. You could plug that face expression into any of his goofy ass movies and it would be Brendan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was so lean in that because I know he was in shape for probably Airheads and The Mummy, of course, but that has to be the most fit he probably ever had to be.
Yeah.
Because he was basically naked.
Right.
The whole movie.
I want to talk about, I don't think either Shannon or I have seen The Whale, but Danielle, you got
I saw
to see.
40 minutes of it.
Okay.
Yeah, Shannon and I have seen about the same amount. I tried to watch it this weekend, but unfortunately my internet didn't want me to finish the movie. So we've both seen about 45 minutes to an hour of it. It's a hard watch. And from what I'm gathering, it gets even harder to watch. Just that first hour, seeing his interactions with his daughter, who is played by Sadie Sink, and she's like an estranged daughter. There's not a relationship there. I didn't get far enough into the movie to see why they have such a bad relationship, but it's heart-wrenching to watch.
It unpacks a lot.
Yeah.
I think I got a little farther, but yeah, it really... Yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing in the movie that really got me was they pretty much explained the title like within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
It's from Moby Dick.
Yep. There's a passage that he reads, right? From an essay that was written.
Yes, he's got it memorized. Because I think it resonated so much with him because maybe he personifies himself as the whale, as described in this essay, which is inspired by Moby Dick. Mm-hmm. And you're like, that's so sad. Because you're like, okay, whale, yeah, he's a big guy, okay, you want to call it the whale. But it actually has a meaning and why he feels that way.
Because there's a part of the essay, after struggling to get just from his couch to his bed, he lays down and he's not even all the way on the bed just because of his size. And he's reciting this part of the essay to himself. Talking about the whale, and he goes, it reminds me of myself. It reminds me of myself. And then it cuts to the next scene. And he, at the very beginning, we're not going to go too much into detail because I want to finish it, just because not only is it now Oscar-winning movie, but he shoves this essay into this boy's hand that comes into his house because he thinks he's dying. And he's like, why did you have me read that? And he goes, I wanted to hear it one last time. And I'm like...
Yeah, I had so much empathy, and it makes me wonder too, because there isn't a lot of empathy with much larger people, especially at that size. And I'm just wondering if, because everyone loves Brendan Fraser so much, if it was another actor, would we have the same empathy for this character?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
It's how we feel about Eddie. We've used the same example about Eddie. If another character would have played Eddie, would we have felt the same way? But I think you're right. I think that we kind of connect to Brendan's story too.
And we just love him. So the fact that we can empathize with him, but Brendan aside, you're just like this poor man.
Yeah. Well, you brought up a really good point, Shannon, where like it is hard for a lot larger people to get empathy like that. Most of the time it's like, you made this choice, you did this to yourself, why are you living like this, why aren't you making these changes? And even in just the first 45 minutes of the movie, he gets asked that a handful of times. And so you've picked the right person to portray this role when you find yourself empathizing with it, because it's pulling on the right heartstrings.
Right. You already know that it's not as an easy choice for him. It's not that he doesn't want to. It's just the fact that it feels like you're well, like you said, it happened probably so quickly for him that he's almost just willing to face his demise.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah. Keep in mind, this is the first 45 minutes of the movie, War, and it's
that's
already
45 minutes, and we already got this deep.
Yeah.
So
how long is the movie?
It's like just over 2 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm kind of scared to watch it, but I feel like you guys, like the fact that we've been able to talk about it so much, like just goes to show exactly what you're saying. How.
And you're empathetic. If
Yeah.
you need to pause it, I haven't shed any tears. I didn't feel like I had to
Yeah.
cry any or anything yet, but there's a lot of intense things that happen already in that short amount of time. So
Yeah.
Let's move on briefly to Kay and his roles.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll leave Everything Everywhere All at Once for the last one. I will be the first to tell you, I have never seen The Goonies.
Me neither. People get mad at me for saying that. I don't know. Maybe it was just before my time. I have no idea. But
Neither one of you have seen it? Listen.
I knew it, Laura. I knew you. I was like, I think Danielle's seen The Goonies, and
Yeah.
she's going to tell us. She's going to be like, why haven't you seen The Goonies?
I love you both so much that it overpowers the fact that I am highly disappointed in both of you.
I know, it's a classic.
It is such a good movie. It has treasure hunts and pirate ships and cave dwelling and hey you guys.
Is that when he does the...
No, that's the truffle shuffle.
Yeah, but that's in that movie, right?
That is in the movie, yes.
Because he's the fat kid, and he jiggles
Yep.
his tummy.
It all starts when they're up in the attic and they find a map to a treasure and they make a plan and they just go on this adventure and there's bad guys after them and they're sliding down slides and caves and they're finding gold and it's just amazing.
It's an adventure
It brings
movie.
me so much joy. It's an adventure movie through and through, and Key is just excited the whole time. Like what you see now, it's just him in a tinier version, like even more energetic.
Oh.
He was
Yes.
the cutest child actor. I saw a snippet of him in Raiders of the Lost Ark with Harrison Ford, which I will forever,
I love him.
forever talk about how hot Harrison Ford was. Harrison Ford owned this late 70s and the 80s, but I digress from that topic. Maybe we'll do an episode on him one day. But Kay was the cutest little thing, playing cards with Harrison Ford in the middle of the jungle. I mean, this was his first break, and he got to work with none other than Steven Spielberg.
Wow.
Do you guys remember hearing that Steven Spielberg has sent him a Christmas present every year since then?
I didn't know that. How
For
special.
37 years, they said?
Almost
Every
40
year.
years. 40,
Yeah,
40
every
years.
year he sent him a Christmas present.
Wow.
Get the fuck out.
No.
God, that's
He's a treasure too.
Wow.
Steven Spielberg, he's a treasure.
He is.
Yeah. Kay Hu Kwan says, after I won, I went up to Steven Spielberg, who gave me my first opportunity. He said to the famed director who cast him in Indiana Jones and and the Temple of Doom. I keep calling it Raiders of the Lost Ark. I'm so sorry. I have fucked that up so many times.
We all did it. It's okay. We all apologize.
Hold,
I
please.
just keep thinking Legends of the Hidden Temple, and then my brain goes really happy because I love that
Such a
show.
good show. Me too, girl.
It's Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Oh my god.
Okay.
Let me just jump off the fucking...
I've always wanted to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple, but then I just I don't want to be scared because that last level where you're running through and the little temple guys jump out and scare you, I'm like, oh hell no.
He said, after I won, I went up to Steven Spielberg, who gave me my first opportunity in the Temple of Doom nearly 40 years ago. And then he gave me a big hug and said, Key, you are now an Academy Award winning actor. I mean, there's a picture. Okay, hold on. I gotta show you guys this. There's a picture of...
Oh,
look at them.
Finger guns.
Look at how...
He is such a kid at heart. I love it.
I love him.
You can see, there's so much of, his inner child being healed.
Yes. Can I just say there was so much love in that room anyway. I don't think
Yeah.
I've ever had watched an Oscars where I was just like, oh my god, the same old people and the same
Yeah.
old blah blah blah. There was so much love in that room,
Yeah.
the entire time.
Yeah, the vibe was,
Yes,
impeccable.
the vibe. It passed the vibe check.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, actually, I think he did work on X-Men.
Oh, I think in stunt, right?
Yeah, he did some stunt work on X-Men in 2000. Isn't that crazy?
Is that what he went to school for?
I don't quite know.
Because, like, how do you get into stunt work like that?
I mean, he didn't really do assistant fight choreographer and translator. That's what he did. I don't think he did a lot because right now, so far, he's only credited with a couple of other... He was an assistant director for a movie called The One and 2046, and then he did X-Men as a stunt coordinator. So
that's cool.
Now, I want to talk about Everything Everywhere All at Once because that is one of those movies that changed my fucking life.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I have heard nothing but amazing things. It's hard to, like, follow.
Yeah.
But I heard it's amazing, so I'm excited to have you tell me about it.
I had about 45 minutes left, so I don't know how it ends.
I've watched it 3 times.
Ooh.
So good.
Goodness, Laura.
I know. It's a movie about a woman whose life did not go in the direction she wanted it to go. And she owns a laundromat with her husband. And they're in the middle of tax season and they're struggling to make ends meet with her taxes. And then as she's going to go to a meeting with the IRS lady, aka Jamie Lee Curtis.
Who plays a awful human being in this, by the way. She's not likable.
Yes, but then you get to the end of the movie. She has a redemption arc that's quite great, actually.
Okay, good. Can't wait.
Yeah. In the middle of this elevator ride up to this meeting with Jamie Lee Curtis, her husband suddenly, like, changes personality out of nowhere, and it turns out that her husband's name is Wayman. Wayman from an alternate universe kind of takes over this universe's Waymond. And it's like, there's something going on. Oh my God, I can't remember the name of Joe Butabaki. I think it was the name of the.
Yeah, it's like Joba, Potaki or
Joe
something
Butabaki.
like that.
Yeah. Oh. So there's this great evil in the universe, and it's played by Stephanie Hsu, who is also the daughter. And you go into understand the world from all these different perspectives. It goes on to talk about how the universe is not linear. There is not one life. You start to understand that everything, that we are so small by comparison to what else is out there in the world. You know, there are millions and millions and billions and trillions of versions of you and me in the world. Every time you make a decision, a new reality is split into your life. And so, you know, the tiniest decisions change the course of your life altogether. And so you're watching this movie and you're like, I'm watching life happen in front of me. But it's one of those movies that is like goofy and fun and action-packed and scary and sad and depressing, and you're watching it and you are so completely enthralled by every aspect of it, and it's fucking hilarious on top of everything.
It's like they have to do something goofy to, like, get the powers to come through when they leave it. So, like, Kay at one point chewed on some chapstick. And then another guy tried to put something up his butt.
Yeah,
like,
so
to try to get their powers.
So you have used this like almost like a headpiece to communicate with the world where you come from, and then you say, okay, I need you to find a version of me that is trained in kung fu, and then it'll say, okay, you have to eat this lipstick, chew this lipstick, and then tap the green button, and that's how you'll be able to tap into that world and use the skills from that world in this world to be able to fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, so there's a part where he has to like give himself a paper cut in between like his fingers.
All of his fingers.
All of his fingers.
Mm-hmm. And then real Wayman came back. He's like, what happened to my hand?
He's like, ah!
My hand!
And it's so funny because the cast is incredible. Harry Shum Jr. from Glee is in it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
He also went to the Oscars. Like, let me just tell you, his tux for the Oscars, wow.
Yeah.
So good.
Mm-hmm. It's just one of those movies that you watch and you're like, I have to watch it again because I need to. Understanding how it ends will help piece everything together.
Yeah.
Please watch it twice.
So, first and foremost, I'm very excited to watch it. I've wanted to watch it,
Yeah.
but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Yeah.
But I do have a question because I've seen this pop up on my TikTok so many times.
Yeah.
Is there a scene in this movie where Jamie Lee Curtis has like super long hot dog fingers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you know that I was going to say that?
Because I just did.
Because there's a video of her going like this, and they're like this long, and I'm like, that makes me highly uncomfortable, but that's hilarious.
Yeah, apparently there's a reality where everybody has hot dog fingers, so that's where that came from.
It's something that's triggered from like way back in like millions of years before in that reality, where these ape-like creatures killed the last Neanderthal or whatever, and so evolution ended up being that everybody had these hot dog figures.
That is a trip.
Just because they killed every single Neanderthal or whatever evolution of man phase that the world was in right then and there.
Well, consider me sold. I'm watching it.
Just for the hot dog fingers? Is that what did it?
A little more than just the hot dog fingers, but that's really what's reeling me in at this
It was
point.
funny, in that same scene, Michelle was like, what's happening? I can't grab the door. And she's just flopping.
Oh yeah, she's just like...
I can't get the door handle.
It's really, really good. And Michelle Yeoh, we can also talk about her comeback story. She is incredible. She is beautiful. She's had this incredible career. She was a Bond girl at one point.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh.
with Pierce Brosnan.
Oh,
Time to rewatch that as an
the
adult.
best Bond in my opinion.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, she was in Memoirs of a Geisha, and I mean, she's just the most elegant, beautiful, poised woman.
She was on Letterman once, and apparently she basically calls Jackie Chan a chauvinist pig.
Really?
Here for that.
Oh, I would love to keep that in.
He's probably a dick for all we know. I know he's beloved here, but who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows?
I don't know. We don't know.
I don't put it beside anybody, but you know.
Don't put Jackie Chan on one of our episodes. Check. Do you want to talk about their upcoming roles?
Yes! Oh my god,
Yes,
please.
queen.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to know what they've got going on, Danielle. Tell me.
So Brendan is going to be coming into a Scorsese film with a supporting role starring next to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Shut up.
This movie centers on an investigation into the murders of the members of the Osage tribe in the 1920s. It's based on a book called Killers of the Flower Moon.
Oh, yeah. That's almost done. It says it's in post-production right now. Yay!
Oh, so that might be coming
Wow.
out sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
He's also going to be in a movie called Brothers, starring next to Josh Brolin, Peter Dinklage, and Glenn Close.
What a cast.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin.
Brolin and Dinklage play siblings. Not a lot is known about the film's plot, but it is a heist movie.
We gotta get in the diamonds. I'm just kidding.
There are jewels at stake which have been mysteriously buried, possibly inside a cadaver, is what this article says.
Oh.
Peter Dinklage. I missed that. Oh my god.
I love Peter Dinklage. Oh my god.
And then moving on to Key, he is going to be reuniting with several of his co-stars from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Based on the graphic novel, it will tell the story of Jin Wang, an average teenager juggling his high school social life with his home life. This is a Disney movie.
Was it American-born Chinese?
Yeah, it's an
Yes.
American-born
It
Chinese.
says it's a TV show, maybe?
Yeah.
On Disney
Show,
Plus?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's wildly entertaining and occasionally touching. The show premieres on Disney Plus on May 24th. This one I'm real excited about. He will continue his relationship with Disney Plus by joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe in his biggest post-Oscar role. The actor has joined the cast of the second season of the Marvel series Loki.
Oh my god!
I know! He appears to be playing an archivist for the Time Variance Authority, and this is the group that controls the flow of time in this show.
Has anybody seen the Loki show?
Yes, I have. It's so good.
Are you
I'm
guys into Tom
obsessed.
Hiddleston? Because we
Yes.
haven't talked about him.
I
Okay,
am in Tom Hiddleston TikTok right now, and it's so fucking good.
Do you know what got me to be a Tom? I mean, Loki's very hot and sexy, but it's literally the thriller horror movie he was in. What was it?
Yeah, it was a Guillermo del Toro movie.
Crimson Peak.
Crimson Peak. Yeah.
his little tushies in it, and that got me.
Wait, what? I thought you weren't that big a fan of Tom Hiddleston, because when I mentioned doing an episode of Tom Hiddleston, nobody looked excited about that.
He's just not one of my favorites. Like, I can appreciate him.
Yeah.
And I like his work, and he's very handsome. I have no qualms against this man. But, like, I have many more ahead of Tom.
I've been avoiding the vampire movie that he was in because I don't want to. I feel like it's going to make me, like just die.
Hyperfixate.
Yeah.
Just watch it.
Yeah.
I need somebody on this fucking island with me, because right now I'm on the Hiddleston Island all by my fucking self, and
Yeah, you've got some listeners out there that'll join you on that island.
I
just gotta
am
reach out to your
fucking
friends.
I'm on the island. I think it depends. Like, I
Are
haven't
you
seen
on a
everything that
raft?
Tom is in.
Let me go ahead and just pop the raft, okay? I don't need you on
Like,
a
I'll
raft.
stay here forever.
No.
Because he's done so much Marvel stuff that I kind of need something away from that. You know what I mean? There's so much low-key.
Yeah.
Low-key. I really think I need a little...
so much to recommend for you. Don't you fucking worry.
Please.
I have so much. Crimson Peak is a good one. He looks so good in the King Kong movie he was in.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't he play, like, the director of Adventure or something? Was that with Jack Black?
No.
There's been about 18 different King Kongs.
Jack Black was in the original not original King Kong. He was in the one that Peter Jackson directed back in the early 2000s. So that was
which
my
is
fault.
such a good version of that movie. It's one of my favorites.
I cried so hard.
Yeah. He was in a TV series called The Night Manager, which is a TV show about hotels.
Lastly, I just want to say this little quote that Key said on a podcast that he was on. He was on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. And he mentioned, moving forward, I'm still really scared, even though I just won an Oscar. But I'm still very fearful of what tomorrow brings. I had a conversation with my agent, and I said, I'm so worried that this is only a one-time thing. I've been down this road before, and I'm so afraid that history is going to repeat himself. I'm afraid that I'm going to do maybe one more project, and then I'll be gone again. I hope that that doesn't stay with him forever. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the 80s anymore. He is just at the beginning of his road.
No, you don't fade back. You don't fade back. Look at Michelle Yeoh's life, you know? She has completely taken over TV shows and movies for a few years now. She's been around doing just nothing but incredible work. So I don't know. I feel like he's going to be absolutely fantastic in anything he does.
I think it's important to keep in that humble mindset, because I think a lot of stars get taken back when, you know, the things start to crumble and they don't ever see it, or they seem blindsided. And not saying it's okay or good, but I think in those kinds of, like, to stay humble in a way to not expect tomorrow to be like today.
Do you think he is saying this to kind of protect himself from the potential disappointment? Yeah, I think it's like definitely a defense mechanism. But anyways, we're not going to put that out there into the universe. This man has nothing but incredible things coming his way, and Brendan has nothing but incredible things coming his way. And let's real quick, I know we keep doing this, what kind of movie would you see either one of them working with Joe in?
Oh, we're bringing Joe into the mix.
Yeah, I think from now on, anybody we talk about, we need to come up with, like, what we would see them working with Joe in.
This would be interesting. This is going to take me a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got an idea.
Okay.
I've got thoughts
Do
going.
Do it.
So we know that Brendan is a funny guy. We've seen it in his past work. He showed some of those skills on the red carpet at the Oscars with his kids and his dad jokes. I want a comedy with Brendan and Joe.
Great.
So Joe can give us, like, heist energy.
Yeah.
And George of the Jungle energy. And I want them to be meshed together.
Like a father and son type of, like, relationship.
Yes.
The gauge gap is perfect.
Yeah.
I love
What
that.
if, like, it's like an estranged father and son relationship, and they, like, you know,
Rekindle.
have to rekindle it, but not by their choice. Maybe they just
They're, like, forced on a road trip because a family member died, and they have to, like...
but like make it dark comedy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Perfect. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
And then for Key, I feel like that's got to be, like, a right in the middle.
Yeah.
You got some comedy and you've got some drama.
Yeah, what if, like, Joe gets evicted and then a family member dies, so then his dad has to come and get him, and then they take this miserable road trip about bitching about their lives, but it's funny somehow.
All right.
I love that. What about you, Laura?
No, I mean, I just pulled that segment right out of my booty. So I think for Joe and Key in a movie would have to be a drama. Mm-hmm. No.
Okay, we'll bring it back.
Hear me
back
out.
To the drawing board.
Voice acting, an animated movie where they get to work together.
Ooh.
Pixar.
Stop. I immediately thought of Ratatouille because of Joe's love of food.
Ratatouille too. Boom. Done. We can call it Ratatouille. And if you've seen Everything Everywhere All at Once, you know what I'm talking about.
Who are we recording about next week, Laura?
It's not about one person. It's not about two people. It's not even about three people.
Are we talking about BTS?
No, but we are having a guest next week.
I forgot.
Oh yeah, next week we have Cole fucking Miller back on. And I mean, next week is not about us. Next week is about Cole and whomever the fuck she wants to talk about. We're gonna talk about Charlie Cox. We're gonna talk about Andrew Garfield. We're gonna talk about Joseph Quinn. And
talk about Pedro Pascal.
Her latest obsession, Pedrito Pascal. Okay, so I hope you're ready. Yeah, it's gonna be a good fucking episode next week. So hang tight. Thank you for being here, and we'll see you next week. Let's go ahead and roll into socials, baby.
My name is Shannon, and my my Instagram is Starry Eyes, StarrYYEYES, and my TikTok is What's Up Shannon. Come say, what's up?
Hi, hello. My name is Danielle. My personal TikTok is DEEE Young. My Instagram is Miss Danielle, MISSDANYELL. And if you want to check us out on our podcast socials, you can find us on TikTok at The Quinn Podcast, and then on Instagram and Twitter at The Quinn Pod. We also have a YouTube Shorts as well. Just search The Quinn-tessentials Podcast on YouTube, and you'll find all of our videos, all of our audios, and all of the new shorts I've been adding. There's a whole whopping 2 of them.
Woo.
Hey, I'm Laura. I'm at Laura Vanessa, both on TikTok and on Instagram.
Don't forget the H's at the end.
LauraAHVANESSAH.
Wonderful.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you. This has been so much fun, and hopefully you'll come back next week.
This was such a fun episode.
Honestly, we should just not plan any episodes ever again.
We say that every time, Laura. We can't. We can get away with like 1 or 2, and then it just becomes very bad.
Too unhinged! Anyways, y'all, thank you for coming. We love you. We'll see you soon. Mwah.
Bye.
Recording stopped.
You guys, that was a good one.
Honestly, yeah.